Hello everyone on World's Awakening Radio. This is me, Jade. I'm here for the next 2 hours, and that track there was picked by my guest. I'd like to say hello to Amy today.
Hello, good morning. Well, you guys are in England, so I suppose it's not really morning, but...
Yep, it's 5 o'clock in the evening over here.
It's got to be
somewhere.
5 o'clock somewhere.
Yep, exactly. Yep. But yeah, so that's one of your sort of favourite tracks at the minute, isn't it? That Little Mix one.
Yes, I love Little Mix. If you guys haven't heard of them, they're really great. You should listen to them. And also, they're like really confident. Like, they don't care what people think of them. So that's why they don't have a song on American radio, but that's okay. Also, check out the Ariana Grande Positions album. Anyway, I'm done talking about my music. Continue, Jade.
Yeah, so I've brought Amy on here today because she does some work for an organisation called Keane, and they have like a Chicago branch, but they also have one in London as well. And I thought it'd be good to have Amy on because, like, I've had different people on, but I've not really had an interview like this before. So Amy, what is Keane and how did you come to work with them?
So this is kind of a long story, but bear with me. I'll try to at least be funny and dramatic. So back in the beginning of the pandemic, when we were all sad and stressed, I got laid off from my office job that I had at the time. And actually, I don't even think I got laid off because they sent me a Christmas card. Anyway, so after that happened, I was looking for a new job, and this perfect opportunity came up, and it was for Keane. And so Keane is an organization that works with youth 5 through 21 years old who live with disabilities, and that can be anything from physical to intellectual and behavioral, as well as learning disabilities and mental health as well. And we promote recreation and fitness. So when we were in person, we did a day at the trampoline park once a month. We did swimming every week, sports every week, and then we had arts and dance. And the athletes would be matched 1-to-1 with volunteers. And we had over 600 volunteers. The sessions were all unstructured, and it's a super small staff. So it's just my boss and myself, and it's a really welcoming community. And one thing that I would say about Keane that is different from a lot of organizations I've encountered is we want people to come as they are. So if you come and you just want to watch and not even participate, but you just want a safe space to hang out, we provide that, and it's super welcoming. And so I actually have been blind since birth, and I kind of I think when I was younger, I had a lot of time, hard time relating to individuals with other disabilities. But honestly, this experience has taught a lot, and I can connect with some of these kids more than I can with anyone else because I just understand them and I really care about them. So we have been virtual for the last I guess forever technically, since I've started.
Yep.
Anyway, so we go on Zoom once a week and we do a half an hour of art and then half an hour of exercise. And then we also have an arts program. So I meet with the kids and we do music and acting and dance. We actually have an upcoming talent show. If you guys are interested, it is called Keane's Got Talent. And it is, we're having a live watch party on April 16th. It is free. We like free things, but we do encourage a donation, so maybe give up your coffee. And it's going to be a really good time. We have some athletes who are going to sing and dance. We have someone who's teaching us sign language. We have one young girl who's singing and dancing to Moana. So yeah, that's one of our virtual events that's coming up. And we also have our Keeping Up with Keane podcast, which I'm so excited about. And you guys can find it on the lovely Spotify. So the podcast is a way of, a lot of times individuals with disabilities, their voices aren't heard or listened to. So we created this as a way for the athletes to be heard. So we have the athletes come on Zoom and I interview them about something that they love. So we had one individual talk about COVID-19. We had one individual come and talk about Ariana Grande. She said her favorite song was 34 plus 35. I literally died inside. We had a little boy come talk about cars. Yesterday, we had one of my favorite girls come talk about robots. So it's just a really cool thing. And it's like on Spotify. So go support
And you can't forget
them.
the one you had who was telling you about karate and how there's a pink belt, which I never knew.
Oh, yes. Okay, so there's a young boy, and he is one of my favorites. He's so sweet. He came and he talked about karate, and he like spoke Korean too. Like it was really awesome.
Yeah, it was.
And he actually, it was so funny. He like shows me and my boss all the time how to use technology. We'll be on Zoom and he'll be like, no, you got to do it this way. And he actually has, and this is an example of like the kindness in our community. Like he has a sister who has a lot more severe needs than him. Actually, no, I'm sorry. She's older than him. And she has a lot more access needs. And he's only 8 years old, but he will sit there and he will help her do her art and he will help her engage. And that's just like so incredible. I have one young boy who comes to every single session, and his mom is like, he's so excited that he can tell a story. And it's just so sweet. And these athletes, they're so cool and fun. And the volunteers as well. So as a blind person, I had such a culture shock to see all these able-bodied individuals who are young working adults and kind of are in the thick of, graduating college and getting their life together. And they take their time outside of their full-time jobs to work with these athletes. And like, they don't talk to them like they're babies. We have like good vibes. It's really, really a great organization.
No, it does sound really, really good. And I mean, it must be amazing. It must just keep you going, keep your spirits up through all these crazy times.
I think, yeah, it's definitely kind of saved me in a way because I like have been struggling a lot with lockdown. Like I live alone and like that's great, but I'm a very social person. And it's been like hard just to meet new people. And actually our athletes are experiencing that as well. Like we had one session where one of the boys, he was like, I miss my friend Kyle. And like, we were obviously trying to comfort him because I think that his friend like was one of the individuals who was facing barriers because a lot of our families are low income. So they have barriers accessing the sessions. And this, anyway, he was telling us how much he missed his friend. And there was a certain point where we couldn't comfort him anymore. And I had to continue what we were doing. And he says, no, Amy, stop. I miss my friend. And like, that just really shows like how the mental health is affected. I think in the past we focused a ton on like physical exercise and like doing hula hoops and parachute and stuff like that. But now I think we're focusing really on the mental health. We have one young woman who's 21 years old and she comes to every session. Most of the time she doesn't participate. Most of the time she knows. Sometimes we'll say, hey, do you have anything to say? And she'll say, I don't think so. And we're like, okay. And we just hang out. But we noticed that her mental health, like she wasn't participating for the longest time. And then she started again. But I think like COVID really is impacting so many people. And this organization is like really a place where kids and like volunteers alike can just come and like, take a break, have fun.
Definitely. And I noticed that you call them athletes. I think that's quite cool.
Yeah, so we want to call them athletes because a lot of the individuals that we work with, we do have a lot of teenagers and we do have some young adults. So I think the volunteers, we call them coaches. And so like the individuals, we call them athletes because they're not all kids. And like, I think there's this like stigma with people who have intellectual disabilities who are older, and we sort of categorize them as kids. And like, I don't think that's necessarily fair, because they are adults, or they are teenagers, and I think they deserve the respect, and they are athletes, you know?
Definitely. And I think, because I was listening to one of your podcasts the other day, actually, and you were talking about like access barriers and things, and you were saying to people something, and it really is something to be mindful of, like when you phrase things, like you just think about how you're going to say certain things or address people or in certain ways.
I think the language that we use is really powerful, and I don't even necessarily think it's offensive, but the way, like, when we say things like love is blind, or that's so lame, or are you deaf, or like all of those things might sound like harmless jokes, and I think most people wouldn't be offended, but it backs up this like sociological stigma of like disability is less than, and it's a problem if what are you, blind, what are you, deaf, like what are you like that is creating the notion that it's a problem to not be able to see or to hear.
Exactly.
Do any of our listeners have questions? I'm curious.
We've had lots of interaction, actually. We've got lots and lots here, so...
Oh, I'm excited.
Bear with me. So we've had lots of things in WhatsApp. So we've had Brian saying Jaden guessed he's listening. Alan says, hey, Jade and Amy, the interview's sounding great. So, hello, Alan.
Hello, Alan. Dumbledore. I call Alan Dumbledore because he sounds like Dumbledore to me. He gives me like the Dumbledore vibe.
Okay. Alan's going to kill me for saying this, but I remember you used to say he sounded like Slughorn.
I did! Yes,
it was Slughorn.
Sound like Slughorn.
Yeah, he's going to kill me later on when I come up here. You watch, I'll get a message in the request group now. Lucy says she's tuned in. Hello, Amy. Hope you're okay. She's loving the interview as well.
Hey, Lucy.
We have Ryan. It's so confusing. We have a Brian and a Ryan, but they're both tuned in.
Wow.
Terry says, he sent us a longer message. Hey, guys, I'm tuned in. Totally get what you're saying, Amy. Working with kids with other disabilities is absolutely amazing. It's one of the most rewarding things I have ever done.
Yeah, true. I'd love to chat about your experiences or, tips that you have and like things like that. Because Terry, you're scary and you eat strawberries.
And
all right.
Shanice has also said evening.
Oh, Shanice!
As well. Yep.
Shanice, it is 11 o'clock, okay? It is not morning, and I just think that you yeah.
Hang on, you just said it's 11 o'clock and it's not morning. But for you it is morning.
Clearly I don't know what the heck I'm saying.
She's not woken up properly yet, guys.
Yeah, true.
But no, so like, how long has Keane been around for then? Has it just been a recent thing, or has it been around for a while?
No, so Keane is actually, there's lots of branches in the United States. I actually did not know there was a Keane London. The reason I found out is because, so we have like a Keane New York, California, Chicago, Louisiana, and California, and there's more, but, Maryland, but I don't know the other ones, but there's about 12 in the US. And then I noticed that like there was like a Keane in London, and I was like, whoa, what the heck? And I like asked my boss, I was like, did you know that there was like a Keane in Europe? And she's like, oh, we've never interacted with them before, but who knows, maybe we can all like combine together and do some huge like interworld fundraiser,
Yeah, because I've looked at the Keane London site, and it seems like, compared to what you guys do, the London one seems dead. Like, you guys do so much, which is brilliant.
London, learn from me.
Yeah. No, you guys, it's amazing what you guys all do. So like, how can people check out like where you're at? Do you have social media pages?
Well, yes, indeed, I do. Okay, so please, first of all, please go on Spotify and listen to the Keeping Up with Keane podcast. Yes, I know when you search it, Keeping Up with the Kardashians will appear under it. I did that on purpose. Anyway, so go and listen to the Keeping Up with Keane podcast. It's on Spotify. I would love the support, but more importantly, like our athletes would love the support. Like they are so excited and so proud of it, and I want them to feel special and heard. So if you do anything or get anything from this, like please go check them out. You can follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Keane Chicago. We do put image descriptions, so I will say that. Another reason you should follow us and support us. Also, our Keane Talent Show is coming up, so that's on all our social media pages as well. It's virtual, and if you want a link, you can go and grab the link and come watch us, have a night of fun. And if you are interested in opportunities, right now, like I said, we are virtual, but if you wanted to plan a session or do something and you had like a really good idea, I would not be against hearing it. So yeah, does anyone else have any like just questions or thoughts?
So Ryan is asking, which is a genuine question. He's asking, how are we spelling Keane? Like, is it spelled differently, or how are you?
It's so we can K. It's K as in Kalargi, E as in Ethel, E as in Edison, and N as in Nigrochate. I made up like 5 words there.
I was going to say, I've never had phonetics like that before, but there we go.
Yeah, Keen. Funny story, there's actually like also a psychic service named Keane. So like when I first got the interview, I was like, wait, am I gonna like be a psychic? So I never actually heard of Keane either until recently. So yes, it's Keane Chicago. Support Chicago. We are the main, we are the vibe.
And what's the interview process like? Like, if any of us was to go for it, is it quite difficult, or?
Oh, okay. So no, if you wanted to volunteer, you would fill out an application, and you would, have to have some level of like commitment. We do have a committee of like leaders that meets once a month, and we kind of head start everything and take on a lot of responsibilities. And then we have general volunteers. I will say that it is important to come with like a work mindset. Like there's no drama. There's no like, it's all about the kids. It's not, I will say it's been harder for us to connect as a community being virtual. But we're trying to focus a lot on our families, and even just supporting us by sharing our posts and getting the word out there would mean so much. Definitely feel free to listen to our podcast. And yeah, come to our talent show. I'm going to be singing.
Do you feel like you've had more people kind of connecting with you since you've gone virtual that maybe couldn't make it to the actual sessions?
So that's very interesting because I'm sure, well, yes, there has been a few athletes that we typically did not see in person that we've gotten the chance to really get to know virtually. But like I said earlier, a lot of our athletes are in a situation where they can't access the Zoom, or the mental health has just gotten so bad that they're like traumatized and they don't want to go on Zoom because like it just reminds them of what they're missing, and like a lot of them have taken it really hard. So like in person we would get about 150, but like on Zoom we get like 5, 10, 15. Like it all just varies.
And it must take a lot of planning to make the Zoom sessions, and even when you're out and about and doing things in the community that aren't virtual as well, it must take a lot of planning.
Yeah, so it's actually just me and my boss and like all of our amazing volunteers, of course, but my boss and I are the actually only 2 like paid members, and so we do like everything. We're sending out kits to the kids right now. We're sending like kits with like active at home stuff that they can do, so like a kazoo and like a Play-Doh and bubbles and just like stuff like that, and we're doing like a lot of cool stuff like that. But yeah, it does take a lot of like planning, and it can be like overwhelming sometimes as well, but it's definitely like worth it when you see like one of your favorite athletes and like they just like melt your heart.
Definitely. And it's true what you were saying, like when we come out of this lockdown, even like over here, people are so scared about actually returning to normal because we've been in this lockdown now on and off for about a year.
I'm kind of thinking like, because even for me, like I get really anxious and like with my schoolwork, I am only doing like a certain amount of stuff a day. And I'm just thinking like, wow, I used to do all this other stuff before lockdown in one day. Like that seems so crazy. So I feel like everyone else, when we do go back, I think it's going to be like a shock for everyone to be like out and about from 9 a.m. to 8 or 9 p.m. and like be doing all this stuff. I think we've all probably gotten a little bit out of it.
Definitely. We've had a few more messages in. Alan says...
Slughorn!
Yep. He says, I love that you call them athletes as well. Small things like that can make people feel a lot more confident.
Mm-hmm.
And Justine says... Hi, great interview, and she's looked up Keane, London, as she lives local. They sound great.
Wait, is that Justine? Like, I think I know her, but anyway, continue.
Yeah, I think that is the one, I think.
Cool.
And, oh wow, we've got Curtis tuned in. He says he's listening. Very interesting interview.
All right. Anyone else? I love questions. They're my favorite. I love to hear your lovely thoughts.
Emma says there has always been a big stigma around disabilities and mental health, but slowly but surely, I think that the stigma is being broken down.
Yeah, definitely. Me and my boss like both like struggle with anxiety, and like a lot of our athletes do as well. And I think like our parents, like a lot of our parents' generation, like is not like comfortable with the idea of being open about mental health. And so then I think a lot of the athletes might feel a little bit like not comfortable displaying that because it's not like encouraged.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that's it for now with all the questions and things. But I know you guys have a YouTube channel as well, don't you? And I've seen some of your Zoom.
We do.
Go up on
so
there.
If you would like to watch our sessions, we have a YouTube channel, Keane Chicago. It's actually really awesome. You'll get to see me do the hokey pokey, which, okay, my friend from Spain did not know what the hokey pokey is. So that was funny as heck. Anyway, so we have our sessions recorded. We have our big event is recorded, our Keane Fest. We have sessions. We have our Christmas party. Actually, no, we didn't record that one. We have one we did recently, like all about pirates. We did like a virtual trip around Chicago. It's a really cool, we have all our sessions there. So definitely check them out. And also we have like accessible Zumba and yoga. So like we adapt it for chair users as well. And like we also try to describe all the poses as well. So if you want like a good little yoga sequence, you can go and check out Ryan. He's like a young man with cerebral palsy, and he teaches us yoga sequences. That's on our YouTube channel. So yeah.
That is amazing just how much you guys do. Like that is so good.
Yeah, I'm really grateful for this opportunity. Like I definitely feel like it happened for a reason, and I was like definitely at the right place at the right time. And yeah, it's just a really great organization, and I love these athletes, and they just deserve so many resources and opportunities.
Definitely. And I was going to ask, with your permission, can I share a link to your podcast, like in the WhatsApp group and on our social media pages?
Yes, you can. Please, please, please. And also, if you like my podcast, please share it. Please share it on Twitter. Say that. It's fun. If you're American, say it. Twitter. It's really fun to do that. Anyway, so join. Yeah, please, please, please. Definitely post the link to my podcast. And I can send you the link for the talent show as well if people are interested in that. But yes, podcast, please listen. If I was there with you in person, I would be dramatically kneeling in front of you, holding your hand, looking into your eyes, saying, please listen to my podcast. Anyway.
We've just had another question in from Emma. She has asked, what would you say your most popular event would be?
Okay, so typically, when we were in person, our most popular event was Dance-a-thon, which we had a bunch of individuals like create teams, and we did like a virtual dance-a-thon and raised donations, as well as, I'm just going to go through our big events because since we're virtual, there hasn't necessarily been a most popular one. But over the summer, we did the NEK event, which was really cool. We partnered up with Keane New York and all the Keane USA affiliates, and we did a like an NEK race. So we had people pledge that they were going to bike 10 miles or run 5 miles or swim or bike or like just whatever they wanted to do to get exercise in. And you would pledge, and the athletes did it as well as like a lot of our volunteers, and that we would try to get people to donate through that means. And that was really cool because we all came together like as USA during COVID, especially like in the summer as well. That was a really cool way to stay connected. And then we have Keane Fest, which is our yearly gala, and it's a Halloween theme. So we usually get costumes and dress up. And this year it was virtual, so it was definitely different. But we had me apple bobbing. That was funny. We also had some of our athletes come and tell jokes. We had a visually impaired improv artist come and do like comedy sequence. And yeah, we do like lots of cool things like that. And we also really like to have people with disabilities like representing us.
Definitely. And are you guys, because obviously it's difficult, but obviously places are starting to come out of lockdown. So are you making plans for events, or are you just sticking to virtual at the minute?
So I don't know if I'm allowed to be announcing this, but we are considering doing a Keane summer camp, which would be very limited. We'd have like a social distance, like outdoor camp where we'd have some athletes come, and we would do like sidewalk chalk and like yoga, and we could do like camp games and sing-alongs and stuff like that, because like our organization has stayed really strong, but it's going to be really hard to sustain, like I think virtually. So we really are hoping to do some sort of like social distance summer camp, and then after that we really don't know. I'm hoping that like by next January, we're kind of back in our swing, like back in the pool, like back doing what we want to do. But we don't know because, you know, a lot of our population is like at risk, and we don't want to put them in a situation that's going to make them unsafe. And we also, you know, have things to be concerned about as an organization with safety.
And Ryan has asked, because he might have missed this in the beginning, what's the age range for the athletes with Keane?
5 through 21. But we're in the process. We really want to create a young adults group for like 20 to 30. But, you know, we have to expand our funding first. But yeah, right now that's our age range. But like if you're older than that and you wanted to come to a session, like I don't think we would say you can't.
Yeah, because that's the thing over here. Like there's lots of things for disabled people if you're younger. But once you get above sort of 25, 30, really, that's it.
Yeah, that's definitely something important that needs to be. Apparently, my Alexa wants to. So funny story, guys. When I first started the stay at home, I don't know, Alexa said something to me like, do you want me to enable stay at home mode? And I was like, sure, because I didn't know what it was. And now she like reminds me all the time, like drink water, go for a walk. And I don't know how to turn it off. Like I've tried everything. So if any of you techs out there know, let me know, because I don't know.
I've never seen that. Ours over here don't do that because our echoes aren't cool.
Ask it to put on stay-at-home mode.
Let's see. I'm probably going to set everyone's echoes off on through the airwaves, so I apologize. Alexa, enable stay-at-home mode.
You have relaxing.
What did she say? I didn't hear.
No. She was asking if I wanted to enable relaxing sounds. No offense, I don't want to go to sleep. I've got another hour and a half to go yet, so not yet.
Oh, you don't want to take a nap, Jade?
No, because I enjoy doing my shows. I don't really want to get booted off the airwaves.
We'll take a virtual nap together, everyone. I think that should be a thing, right? Like a virtual nap. If anyone wants to have a virtual napping party, I am so down. But yeah, are there any questions about Keane, Chicago? I have about 10 more minutes for questions before I have to take my little cute self to school.
Ugh, good luck with that one. And again, it must be quite a challenge for you, what with juggling school, thinking of things to do for Keane. It must be quite a challenge for you.
Yeah, right now. So I'm going to graduate college, which in England. Okay, so I know in England there's a college and a university. I don't know the difference, but so in America, we have like 4 years of college for like an undergrad degree. So that's what I'm about to get. And then I'm actually going to grad school next year for social work, which is like another master's degree. To kind of get me like higher up in the rankings. So I'm like, I look better to job candidates. But anyway, so right now I'm trying to plan for grad school because I have to find an internship placement as well as register for those classes. I'm working on my senior project, which is another internship with another nonprofit. And then I'm also working for Keane and I'm taking 18 credit hours for school. So I definitely have quite a bit on my plate and a lot
just
of procrastination.
Exhausts me thinking about it. How do you manage with all of that?
I get really anxious and I procrastinate and then I do everything at once. Yeah, but I would love to hear questions, thoughts. If you don't have any now, you can always go and listen to the podcast. Again, I'm going to plug the podcast. It's great. It's great. I also did an episode about like being blind. It's like, it's not like super informational. It's kind of short, but yeah. And we have a good one. Me and my boss did one on disability rights. And that's actually a really, really good episode. So
yeah, I enjoyed that one. If I was when I share one later, is there anyone in particular you'd like me to share in the groups and everything?
Oh man, all of them are so good. I want you guys to listen to whatever one catches your eye. And
so
all of
I
them,
will just
honestly.
throw in a link to one of them, and then the other episodes will just be there as well, guys. So I will do that when I come off air in a little while.
Great. WhatsAppers, is there anything that you want to say? I know voiceover takes a little minute, but if you have anything, I'd love to hear it. If not, forever hold your silence. Slughorn, you can drink some potion. You know.
I'm just quickly having a look in our messenger group as well. And it is all now gone quiet. So I think
everyone is just ready for me to head out, apparently. Well, thank you for having me on the show. I appreciate you guys taking the time to listen and learn some more about Keane and everybody that I work with. Again, you can follow us on social media at Keane Chicago on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. You can also go and follow our podcast, Keeping Up with Keane, on the little Spotify. You can click it in the little search box. It will come right up for you. And you can also go to our website for more information, and that is www.keanechicago.org. Okay, I know I sound like a robot, but anyway, I hope you guys stay safe. It's crazy out here in these streets. And yeah, lots of love. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Go drink like a
that's coming
shamrock
up
shake
soon.
or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And before you go, would you like to introduce our next track that you picked? Because you picked a nice Ariana Grande one before you leave.
This is my favorite song ever. I listen to it every single day, and it is called Just Like Magic by Ariana Grande. So y'all put your pride aside and get some dancing going on, and I will see you later.
We'll definitely get you back again, like when you guys are like live and doing events in the general public again and out and about. It'd be good to get you back on again.
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely. Cool. All right.
Well, Merry Christmas, Happy Groundhog's Day, Happy St. Patty's. I love y'all, and we will talk. Peace out.